Receiving simulator transmission. Uploading transmitted feed. Initializing playback sequence. Alright Seipher, we're ready.
Hey everyone, Seipher here, and welcome back to Seipher Plays Kingdom Hearts. In the last episode, we took on the challenge of the Hercules Cup, taking on Cloud in a rematch, and a true hero in Hercules in the final seed. Ultimately, we bested the demigod, demonstrating how far we've come to being a true hero. A shame though that Sora's statement on his strength is kind of contradicted by his insistence on fighting Herc alone. But I digress. With our lesson in our strength, we were finally able to reveal Olympus's keyhole, and promptly seal it. This time, now that we have access to both Glide and Yellow Trinities, we're going to be flying out to the stops we've made along the way to collect what has been out of our reach this entire time. As you can tell by our surroundings, we're kicking things off in Neverland. So, we've landed here in the hold because we want to actually exit out into the room here. And we're gonna have to do a bit of fighting. Probably goes without saying, but we will not encounter any... Oop, did not mean to do that. We will not encounter any more of the Sora shadows now that we've taken care of Anti-Sora back in episode 37, I want to say? Yeah, I think 37. In any case, now that we have the ability to fly, we can access a bunch of chests that we couldn't before, like this over here. Getting a Shell G. And this one right here. Getting us Dalmatians 82 through 84. Not bad, not bad. In any case, now we want to actually land right here and deal with these pirates. Because now we have a Yellow Trinity, our second of 4. Yeah, there's really only 4 of these Trinities, and honestly, one of them is not going to be all that great, but from using Trinity push on that door, we have this room, which we have to quickly clear out for a few items. So, starting things off, obtain an orichalcum. Pretty useful at this point. Let's open this. Found Dalmatians 85 through 87. Not bad. This contains a Dispel G dome. Not great, but hey, we'll take it. And last but certainly not least, attain the power of wind. Arrow has been upgraded to Aurora. That is quite the find, as when we take a look at Aurora, it is still a barrier, but it does not change how Arrow functions at all. It is still reduces damage by about 50%, if I recall correctly. However, Aurora adds a new feature to it. It doesn't change the duration, it doesn't change how much damage it reduces. It actually adds a damaging effect to the wind barrier that is Aurora. So, enemies that make contact with you will get a bit of damage. This will actually get boosted when we get the final evolution of Arrow. So, pretty good. It's actually a rather useful spell alongside alongside Stop and Ars Arcanum Limit in taking on the Pinkagaricus in the final mix version. So, keep it in mind. In any case, now we've got to find our way back up to the deck of the ship, so let's just cut ahead. Okay, and now that we're out here, we just have to clear out the deck of the ship. If you want to hunt synthesis materials, this is probably a good time to actually have Peter Pan and Goofy in the party, since by this point I think that you will have Lucky Strike unless you pick the sword. But I'm not entirely sure on that, so... But anyway, Goofy and Peter Pan will both have Lucky Strike at least, so it's better than nothing. And if you're like me, the shield would definitely have Lucky Strike at this point. Let's just take care of these Heartless. We do have to be a bit careful about synthesis hunting over the water in this open deck. Just because anything that falls to the water will be immediately gone for us. You can't get it back. So if you are gonna be synthesis hunting, try and keep your fights over the ship. I know flying is cool and all, but we don't want to miss out on everything. In any case, if we land in the crow's nest here, we can get a Dispel G. Not all that worth it, in my opinion. In any case, I will now see you guys back in Halloween Town. I just have to find a save point. Okay, so if you did not do like me and use the Dumbo trick, we now can use Glide to get over to this mouth to get those chests if you didn't get them before. I, however, did, so I won't be needing to worry about that. In any case, I'll meet you guys over at Moonlight Hill. Okay, so when heading to the right from where you enter, there should be a door that wouldn't open. Yeah, this right here. Which brings us to this chest over here. However, it contains a Dispel G Pyramid, and I don't have any... Oh, and this chest. Obtained Dalmatians 64, 65, and 66. All in all, pretty much worth it. Oh, and another chest. Hopefully it's something I can actually take. And a Synergy Square. Okay. Oh, and another thing. And a Thunder G that I can't carry any more of and can't sell anything to actually make room for, so... I guess that covers pretty much everything that we can take care of here. I will meet you guys up next in Agrabah. Okay, and we're gonna want to land at Aladdin's house, just to make things easy. Because our first stop is the Palace Gates. So down this hole we go. And thanks to Glide and High Jump, we'll be able to easily get over to the Palace Gates. By using High Jump to get up to where we were, to where we could previously reach, we can see a chest that has been taunting us forever, next to a pod spider that we can easily kill. Opening this up gets us Dalmatians 46 through 48. Now, we need to head to the Cave of Wonders, so I'll see you guys there. Okay, first things first, we're gonna have to clear all these guys out, so give me just a sec. From here, we can glide over to this chest, getting us Dalmatians 49 through 51. Very good, very good. In any case, now to the hall. And we'll have to clear out some enemies here as well. Frankly, a little surprised that the shadows that have been upgraded as we've gone through the worlds uh, aren't actually being the upgraded shadows that we faced in Neverland now. It's just the ones we faced in Agrabah all that time ago. In any case, we found our third yellow trinity mark, and honestly, this is the one that is the most pointless, as that idol that fell down below, as I'll quickly go show. At least I'm pretty sure it was here. Maybe it was here. Yeah, that idol is just this platform right here. We could already reach that higher ledge with high jump and a properly timed jump. So it's really the most pointless Yellow Trinity in the world because we've already been able to get there. And in order to get Yellow Trinity, we need to have high jump in the first place, so really rather pointless. In any case, I will meet you guys at Deep Jungle next. Okay, and we'll want to land in the tunnel area, because we have to head to the treehouse. Now, this is technically something that you could have done all the way back when we first came to Deep Jungle, but I wanted to just give myself an excuse to come back here and listen to this music all over again, so you'll have to forgive me for indulging in my first Disney movie once again. In any case, we saw that boat that was hanging off the platform, which doesn't quite fit with the design of this place compared to the actual movie, but that's besides the point. We want to quickly make our way up to the top of the treehouse, just to give us the best vantage. And get us in here. You can technically do it with using keyblade swings to slow your descent, but I personally prefer to just glide, since you have a bit more leeway with it. In any case, you can also now use glide to sort of cheese the jungle vine swing minigame. I actually got that wrong with how to activate it. There is a flower in one of the vine areas near where you stand that you can examine, and it'll give you the various courses. I didn't really bother with it much though, as it does not give you any rewards, and the only thing that it really gives you, aside from bragging rights, is a sticker in Jiminy's journal, which I might take care of off screen, but I'm not entirely sure that I will. In any case, now we're off to Wonderland. And while we're here in the Queen's Castle, I just want to share a fun fact that I didn't know back in episode 7, but that I have learned since actually doing this series. I would like to thank 2C Phoenix for this, as I learned that the evidence boxes that Sora provides fall faster than the evidence boxes that the Queen of Hearts provides during the trial. This enables you to really be able to figure out which one is the correct box so that you don't make the mistake I did and choose Donald and Goofy. I did actually watch this back in my actual episode, and it does track, so if you need some extra help with that, pay attention to the boxes, see which one doesn't fall as fast as the others. It's a little tricky, but it shouldn't be that tricky. In any case, let's go into the bazaar room. And we're gonna have to defeat some enemies just so that we can grow big. I probably should have gone in via the rabbit hole, but oh well. Okay, we're going to quickly drink this, because there is actually something in this room that I forgot to do in our first visit to Wonderland. And it actually has to do with this bear, which I really shouldn't have moved before actually checking the book that this popped up. Something is stuck inside. Obtained a mithril shard. A little pointless, but hey, I figured might as well just show it just to show. And now we have to move the clock back. In any case, we want to drink this again and go to the Lotus Forest. Again, I need to really stop saying that. Or rather, stop saying that preposition. Now, there should be a... Yeah, I don't know why I got stuck in that loop like that. Now then, let's see here. I need to find some mushrooms in the alcove to the right, so... And we can glide to reach a chest. At least I thought. You guys are getting on my nerves now. Okay, so there's a mushroom above the fake lake that we can glide to. So let's get into position. Ah, there it is. I want to open this. Getting an orichalcum. Pretty good. And we want to go through this door, I believe, to the Tea Party Garden. For a chest right here. Getting us Dalmatians 19 through 21. And there is another chest right here. It contains an arrow gadget, but we can't open it because I have too many of them. And we can see another chest right over here. Containing a mithril. All in all, pretty good. That wraps up everything for the adventures here in Wonderland. So let's head on back to Traverse Town. Okay, and the first thing that we're going to want to do is land in the Magician's Study. However, Merlin doesn't have anything for us today, so we'll head on outside. and go around to the back of his house, where we find our final yellow trinity mark, the first trinity that we've actually been able to complete, despite it being the last one we've gotten so far. Pushing it creates a stairway to this chest up here. Really hating this. Okay, I'm pretty sure that I'm supposed to be able to open this without having to get up. Okay, what is wrong with me today? Finally. Getting us a power-up. Off-screen, I did use the power-up from the Hercules time trial the Hercules Cup time trial that I got, so you can easily make use of that. For Sora. As per usual, we want to use all of our AP ups on Sora, and... well, shoot, I did not mean for this to happen. Thankfully, we have Mermaid Kick to be able to get back, and now that we have Glide, we don't have to deal with any of these stones ever again, really. Although, they do move slower if you walk toward them rather than run. But anyway, you want to glide over to that chest that has taunted us. Okay, I'll cut ahead to when I actually land on it so that you guys don't have to deal with this. For the love of God, thank goodness. Dalmatians 1, 2, and 3 finally returned home. That took far longer than I care to admit. In any case, we want to quickly head off to the Dalmatian house because at this point, we have rescued enough of the puppies from our travels to get the next 2 rewards, I think. Let me just double check that. Yep, we found 87 out of 99 puppies. For our diligence in recovering 72 and 81 puppies respectively, Pongo and Perdita are giving us an Orichalcum and an Ultima G. Very nice. Finally, it's time to return to Sid in the 1st District and have him install our new pair of navigation gummies now that we've finally gotten the mate to the one that we got all the way back here during our 2nd visit to Traverse Town. Looks like you found the other one. Let me see it. Okay, wait here. I'll get it installed right now.
Now just remember what Donald said to you. No frowning, no sad faces.
How can you be so cheerful? There's still no sign of your king. Aren't you worried?
Very.
The king told us to go out and find the key bearer, and we found you, so as long as we stick together, it'll all work out okay. You just gotta believe in yourself, that's all.
Just believe.
I believe in you.
Where am I? Long ago, people lived in peace, bathed in the warmth of light. Everyone loved the light. Then people began to fight over it. They wanted to keep it for themselves. And darkness was born in their hearts. The darkness spread, swallowing the light in many people's hearts. It covered everything, and the world disappeared. But small fragments of light survived. In the hearts of children. With these fragments of light, children rebuilt the lost world. It's the world we live in now. But the true light sleeps deep within darkness. That's why the worlds are still scattered, divided from each other. But someday, a door to the innermost darkness will open, and true light will return. So listen, child, even if in the deepest darkness, there will always be a light to guide you. Believe in the light, and the darkness will never defeat you. Your heart will shine with its power and push the darkness away. Do you understand, Kyrie? Kyrie?
Huh?
What's the matter?
Nothing. Kyrie? Did you call me?
I've installed that navigation gummy. But you know, that place is crawling with Heartless. Don't say I didn't warn you. Here, take this along. Obtain Transform G. That is a special type of gummy block that will allow you to transform your ship into any other ship that also has a Transform G. Though it typically works in pairs, and I don't really make use of it because I like to just build a ship that can handle anything on its own. In any case, with all that said and done, and I really need to stop saying that. Come on, Seipher, stop with that. We can technically move on with the story, but I would suggest you pause a moment. Once we get started with the story of our next destination, we will be pretty locked in going forward, and after a certain point, Heartless will become a lot tougher and have their spawns in the various worlds change. So, this will make things a bit tougher and make hunting for certain synthesis materials a bit trickier. With that in mind, I will now go over the various materials that we've acquired so far and tell you what enemies they drop from if we face them, the best place to find them, and how many you need to make one of every synthesis recipe in case you haven't been keeping up with it so far. This list will be for the original version only, but the warning still applies to those of you playing the Final Mix version, where you have more rare synthesis materials to deal with and annoying rare Heartless that will only get tougher if you go beyond that certain point, so keep this in mind. The Blaze Gems. These can be found in Agrabah by defeating bandits or fat bandits. You will need a total of 11 of them to make one of every recipe. Blaze Shards. These can be found in Wonderland by defeating red Nocturnes. You'll need 10 of them. Next up is going to be the Bright Gem, which can be found in Atlantica and Halloween Town by defeating Search Ghosts. You'll need 11 of them. Bright Shards. These can be found in Traverse Town by defeating Green Requiems. You'll need 13 of these. Frost Gems. These can be found in Atlantica by defeating Sea Neons and Sheltering Zones. You'll need 11 of them. Frost Shards. These can be found in Traverse Town by defeating blue Rhapsodies. You'll need at least 10 of these. Lucid Gems. These can be found in Halloween Town by defeating White Knights and Gargoyles. You'll need 11 of these. Lucid Shards. These can be found in any world other than Atlantica because they are spawned from shadows. You'll need at least 10 of these, but really you shouldn't be struggling to have these. I mean, I'm stocked up to the max. After that, we need Mystery Goos. These can be found in various worlds by satisfying white mushrooms. You'll need 5 in total. However, if you've been hunting down white mushrooms every chance you get so that you can get the arts, so that you could get the Dream Shield, you should be set for these. Up next, Mithrils. These can be found in various chests along our travels. If you have been following my lead and checking every chest you can, you should have enough of these from opening them, but in case you don't, you need at least 8. Mithril Shards, much like the Mithrils, have been available to us in various forms, either through chests or other things. However, if you do need to hunt down some of these, you can find them in Agrabah by defeating pot spiders. However, the drop rate of these is very rare. So, hopefully you haven't spent all the ones that you've needed for synthesis from the chest that we found. You'll need at least 8 of these. Orichalcum. These have come as rewards from chests and or side quests that we've done, like the 100 Acre Wood minigames. If you've been diligent with them as you've gone through the game, like I have, you'll have at least the 6 that you need. Otherwise, we will be able to farm these later. Power Gems are next up. These can be found in Neverland by defeating the various pirates. You'll need at least 12 of these. Up next, Power Shards. These can be found in Deep Jungle by defeating Power Wilds and Bouncy Wilds. You will need at least 23 of these. I have done some synthesis already, so I've used up a fair number of these, so I don't need to worry about them so much. Up next, Spirit Gems. These can be found in Traverse Town and Agrabah by defeating Air Soldiers. We'll need at least 7 of these. Spirit Shards. These can be found in Traverse Town by defeating large bodies and soldiers. Much like the Lucid Shards from Shadows, you should have plenty of these by this point, so you don't need to worry, but if you don't have it enough, you will need at least 18. Up next, we have Thunder Gems, which can be found in Atlantica by defeating Screwdivers and Aqua Tanks. You'll need at least 15 of these. And last but certainly not least, the Thunder Shards. Like all the Elemental Shards, we can find these by defeating Yellow Operas, and they will spawn, just like the rest of them, in Traverse Town. So, get to hunting, you'll need at least 9 of these to be able to progress just fine. In addition to all those synthesis materials, I would recommend going to the Clock Tower in Neverland and getting any doors that you haven't opened already. I've already taken care of getting all of the doors for myself, as once we get to the point where Heartless start becoming stronger because of story events in the next world, we will lose access to the Clock Tower until we do a certain other side quest. So, I would recommend getting it out of the way now before it's too late, especially if you are nearing the time limit, since that is actually limited to 400 hours, but not that I expect you to be at 400 hours by this point. I'm not even at 60 hours. In any case, that is all that we have to go over for now, so we've reached our stopping point. Next time, we'll head out and track down Riku at Maleficent's stronghold, Hollow Bastion. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay gold.
Playback sequence terminated. Transmission disconnected.